Hello, this is Kate from Daily Tarot Girl, and welcome to your weekly tarot card reading. For this week's reading, I am using the Penumbra Tarot. This is a deck by Eris, Elizabeth, and Ethany. All right. So, if you're new here, welcome. And if you've watched my reading videos before, welcome back. I'm going to be drawing 3 cards. Each card is going to represent a portion of the upcoming week. And if you aren't subscribed to my channel and you enjoy my videos, please consider giving me a like and subscribing. It really, really helps my channel. Okay, so as always, my intention with this reading is to get kind of a snapshot of some of the energies and opportunities in the week ahead, and hopefully get some fresh ideas as we move into this new week. All right. First card is for Monday and Tuesday of the upcoming week, and we have the Hermit. All right. So the Hermit is such an interesting card in the tarot. This is a major arcana card, and some people really don't like the Hermit. I happen to really love the Hermit. So the Hermit is about solitude, but it's about enjoying your solitude. So this is about learning how to be in solitude without becoming lonely and without becoming totally withdrawn. So the challenge of the Hermit is to be able to withdraw from the world around you and move inward for a period of time. It could be a very short period of time, like, half an hour or a full day or a week. But to be able to move inward and then go back out into the world and connect with others and basically share kind of in some way what you achieved or what you learned from that period of solitude. Because I think in going inward and being in solitude, we can access that deeper wisdom that we all have. That's what the Hermit represents. It's that deep wisdom inside of you. And we always have this wise self. We always have this, you could call it like an inner guru or inner spiritual master. We all have this part of ourselves, but it's not easy to always access that inner wisdom. And there is a certain amount of solitude and withdrawing and tuning out distractions that is required in order to access that wisdom. So at the beginning of the week, the Hermit is telling us that it's going to be really important to access our inner wisdom. I'm not sure why yet. We'll see what the other cards are, but that might require you to spend some time alone. So making time for yourself to be alone and to not be busy. So when I say time for yourself, I don't mean like being busy doing some hobby or something, but like time that is unstructured, where you're not busy. You're with your thoughts. You might be doing some sort of task or something, but you're able to get into that sort of meditative state and move inward. So that's what I get with the Hermit for the beginning of the week. The other thing I want to say about the Hermit is the Hermit has to do with the quality of the relationship you have with yourself, with your spiritual self or your inner self or your higher self, however you want to think of it. And the Hermit is telling you to really prioritize this relationship, particularly as you're entering this week. So whatever that might look like for you, like how can you prioritize and nurture the relationship that you have with your spiritual side or your inner self? Moving into the week, we have 8 of torches. So 8 of, I believe torches are wands in this deck. So 8 of wands for middle of the week. So Wednesday, Thursday-ish. And now I see why. I knew the Hermit would make more sense in the context of the other cards. So now I'm starting to understand why the Hermit and the solitude and going inward and accessing your deeper wisdom is going to be so important this week. So the Eight of Torches, this is about going on some sort of journey. And Eight of Torches, this is Eight of Wands. Sorry, I'm getting confused. I'm thinking Eight of Cups because the torches kind of look like cups, and I was kind of reading this as if it was Eight of Cups. Okay, so Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands is a card of, it's often depicted as a card of speed, but ultimately it's about moving forward. And we see that with this card. We see this person she's walking barefoot, and she's walking down this sort of path. It almost looks like she's on top of like a castle wall or something like that with the wall on either side. And she's moving forward. It's interesting that the path in front of her is kind of determined. It's not like a maze where there's like different corners and it's not like a fork in the road where there's different avenues that she could choose. It's like her path forward is kind of predetermined and she's just walking forward. So I think that that's kind of interesting. Okay, so coming back to the Hermit, because I said the Hermit now makes more sense. So at the beginning of the week, if you're able to move inward, if you're able to prioritize time with yourself, and if you're able to access that inner wisdom, or even just that inner quiet, it doesn't have to be inner wisdom. It could just be that place inside of yourself that feels eternal and that is forever calm and quiet. Simply accessing that part of yourself, even if it's for a brief moment, can be really amazing. It can be a really neat experience. And the more you're able to do that at the start of the week, it feels like the more clarity and the more, I don't want to say speed, but the more clarity and the more directness you will have in whatever direction you're going in. Okay, I also see that activity at the beginning of the week kind of determines how you move forward midweek. As we get to the end of the week, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we have Crown of Cups. Now, the queens in this deck are renamed crowns. So this is also known as the Queen of Cups, Crown of Cups. And okay, let's have a look here. Okay, Queen of Cups or Crown of Cups. Okay, my mind is drawing a blank, so I'm just going to sit with this card for a moment. There's something very different about this card to the other two cards. I feel like both the Hermit and the figure in the Eight of Torches, they both have hoods over their heads. You notice that? Isn't that interesting? And we can't see the Hermit's feet, but I bet the Hermit is also barefoot. Just a hunch that I have. And they both kind of have their head down a little bit, and they're walking forward. The Hermit has a walking stick. The figure in the Eight of Torches does not, but both are walking forward. And then we get to the Crown or the Queen of Cups. The color scheme is so different. It's very bright. It's cheerful. There's something kind of playful with this card. The first two cards feel almost a little bit somber in their coloring. So we have a shift on the weekend. By the time you get to the end of the week, there is kind of a shift in energy, and it feels like the weekend, there might be more opportunity for a little bit of playfulness. There is like this intuitive, it's almost an intuitive kind of playfulness. I want to even say like the weekend is a good time to be playful in like a spiritual way. So what does that mean? Sometimes I say these things in my readings and I'm like, what do I even mean by that? playful in a spiritual way, but I mean like playing around with like meditation techniques, intuitive development techniques, maybe even getting creative. Like the Queen of Cups, she's very, very creative. When I look at her, I think of like painting and doing crafts and like using creative activities as a way to access your intuition. Whereas with the Hermit, I feel like that's about accessing your inner wisdom and intuition through meditation, maybe even through like a repetitive activity like walking, like slowly walking on a path and having that be a way to move inward and access that inner wisdom. Whereas the Queen of Cups is all about being playful, having fun, doing crafts, being artsy, being creative. The other thing I want to say with the Queen of Cups is she is so good at holding a space. She kind of reminds me a little bit of the Empress. Both of those cards are about holding a space for something or someone in a very accepting and nurturing way. So the wisdom of the Queen of Cups is she never tries to change anyone or anything. She doesn't seek to change people. She simply holds a space for them. And there's something about being in the presence of someone who is like that, who just accepts you as you are. You almost want to be the best version of yourself for them because you feel that acceptance. You feel seen. And when you feel accepted for who you are, it kind of makes you want to be, the best version of yourself. And that's what I'm thinking of when I look at this Queen of Cups. So what does all of this mean for us on the weekend? What I'm getting here is that if there's anyone in your life that you're struggling with, like you're struggling to connect with them, or maybe you're struggling with conflict, or they're driving you crazy, try what the Queen of Cups always does. And she simply accepts people for who they are. It doesn't mean you have to be around them all the time, but she simply allows people to be who they are without trying to change them. And she also extends that courtesy to herself. So this weekend can also be about accepting yourself for who you are and wherever you're at right now, whatever your struggles are, whatever your victories are, whatever is happening for you, being able to really meet yourself where you're at and just accepting yourself as you are in this moment, and then seeing what happens from there. Because sometimes that just takes a weight off your shoulders, and that might free up a part of yourself. It might free up a creative part of yourself or an emotional part of yourself. Okay, so let's look at all of these cards together. I'm just going to see if there's anything else I want to say. I feel like these two cards on either end, they're both looking out in opposite directions. And they're both holding something. So the Hermit is holding a lantern. Queen of Cups is holding a cup. The lantern is a symbol of illumination, shining a light on things. The cup is a symbol of receptivity, being receptive, holding a space for something. And I feel like both of these cards symbolize wise teachers or a wise part of ourselves. Both the Hermit and the Queen of Cups are not in a hurry. They're not breaking a sweat. They aren't trying to change anyone or anything. They're holding a space for the people in their lives. They're accepting themselves for who they are in the moment. I guess what I'm trying to say is both of these figures, the Hermit and Queen of Cups, are very, very skilled at being in the moment. And so that I feel is a big theme this week, throughout the week, is being fully present, being fully in the moment, and then pair that with the forward motion of the Eight of Torches or Eight of Wands. And if you pair that with that forward moving energy, there's kind of these two themes, a few themes this week: accessing your inner wisdom, being present, and moving forward. And so it's almost like the more present you can be and the more you can access that inner stillness, outer stillness or outer stagnancy simply won't be a thing. That's like a thing of the past. If you can reach this place of inner stillness, holding a space for yourself, being fully present, you're going to be able to accelerate and move forward at a very different pace, and there will be more of a sense of clarity. So I feel like this week is about moving forward, accessing inner wisdom, and being present. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this reading. If you want to share your own thoughts on these cards, feel free to do so in the comment section below. And make sure you check out my website, dailytarotgirl.com, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed already. And if you enjoyed this video, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful week.